What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So this long overdue topic I'm finally speaking on, dealing with autism and how I can understand how people can easily compare it to narcissism. So I just wanted to change the subject for a while on this channel just to kind of lay out the comparisons and why and how it can easily be confused. When you meet somebody who is autistic, you notice a person who's a little different, from what you're normally used to, when you first meet someone who's autistic. And what I mean by that is, and I'm speaking from a personal level, so that's the only way that I can really explain to you the best way to just kind of set aside the differences. Not because I'm a professional, I'm not an expert on diagnosing someone as being autistic, but I am speaking from a personal level, dealing with someone who is. And again, when you first meet them, you may say, well, they loved on me. You know, a lot of times what happens is when they really, really take a liking to you, they go for what they want. They're very determined. They're not going to stop until they feel like they have accomplished you. And you may look at it like, well, that sounds like a narcissist, because it's like they don't look at people, as a human. They look at you as an object, as a tool, as something that they could just use to their advantage. But that's not what they do. It may seem like that because it comes a time where, they really go hard behind you. And once you get acquainted with them and really get to know them well and everything, they may even grow on you. But that's anybody, though. Some people just have to grow on you if you give them a chance to. And at some point, you might see them just show you this different side of them to where you may feel like they're not interested in you anymore because they kind of dip out. And when they just dip out on you like that, you may call it ghosting, like they call it ghosting in narc terms or something like that, or the silent treatment. But that's their way of dealing with personal issues. And when they do that, they go through their own, you know, depression of just having too much on them, putting too much on them, carrying too much, and just want to, just like let off a load for a while and not have to deal with anyone. And even, that even includes you. So I can understand how that could be taken personally, like, well, you just, just up and disappeared. I'm wondering where you at. I thought we had a good thing going, stuff like that. Like, you can't do that in relationships. You just don't take breaks from relationships. And they may not be aware that it's bothering you that way. But once you explain to them how it makes you feel, they may get a sense of, being more considerate of the way they handle situations dealing with you, dealing with people on a personal level. Now, doesn't mean they're going to change. They may take it into consideration, but that doesn't mean they're going to change. They may continue to be that way, but as long as you understand who you're dealing with, then that's something that you're going to have to adjust yourself to, to being with that type of person if it's a relationship or someone that you're dating. But that's why they be that way, because it's like too much on them. And another thing that explains, when it comes to giving and just wanting to see you happy, it's just like that's what they want to see all the time. They don't like things to change. Like, they like to not only keep up with a routine, they also just like the people that they deal with. They don't want to see the people ever, just become unhappy and stuff like that. And that's normal. It happens. And you might say, well, that's how narcs are, because it's like they always expect you to just excite them at all times and be a way that they need you to be to make them feel good about themselves. But autistic people don't feel that way. They want to see you happy all the time because that's just what they want. And it may make them happy when you're happy, but they don't try to punish you when you're not happy. That's the big difference between, narcs and other people. And it's just like, a lot of people say, well, they act like they don't have, like they show a lack of empathy, and same as with the narcissist. But it's not that they show a lack of empathy. You may feel like they do, again, but you have to know who you're dealing with. They're really not showing a lack of empathy. What it is that they understand what you're saying, they take it to consideration, but it's like, I guess they just feel like this is something that's just life. That's something that you just have to deal with, roll with the punches, and things will get better. And you may be like, okay, well, anybody could say that, but I'm really not feeling the love and support that I could really use from you right now. When they start to show you that, they'll tell you, oh, don't say that. I feel that way. You're my friend, or whatever your relationship is with someone who's autistic. It's just like they will tell you what you need to hear, but you don't feel it. Same as like with a narcissist. But the thing about it is, again, it's all about intentions. And they're not trying to hurt you by showing you a lack of empathy. It's just the way they operate. It's just like that's how they express themselves. It's nothing to take personal. But I can understand how a person can take it that way, you know. So it's just like you just have to deal with them the best way you can, because they really mean well. A lot of people mean well and they don't have bad intentions. And just because they don't act a certain way that you're expecting them to be doesn't mean that they're out to harm you either. So it's like that's why I feel like that, they can easily be mislabeled and compared to a narcissist. I understand why they compare to a narcissist, but dealing with someone like that, once you get to know them and understand why they are the way they are, then you get a full understanding of it and you get a clear picture of who they are. And it's just kind of up to you if you choose to deal with it, especially someone who had history of dealing with narcissists. That's something that you're really going to have to be strong enough to deal with an autistic person, as far as they're there one minute and next minute they're gone. When they up and just ghost you, that's their way of dealing with burdens and just a heavy load that they've been carrying, or just doing too much and not really giving themselves a break. And that doesn't mean that they're just up and abandon you, with no consideration for your feelings. Again, that's just their way of dealing with life. Just don't take it personal, like they're just trying to hurt me, they're being very selfish. You can bring it to their attention. Again, I don't know if that's going to do any good. It all depends on the individual, because all autistic people are not the same, but very, very similar in their ways. Just like just any other random person, they may have similar ways, but a little bit different, and still can't be compared to someone who's very manipulative, abusive, and, just someone who's out to harm you when they can't control you. They're not trying to control you. They're just used to having things a certain way, and you just have to kind of teach them that, that's not what I choose to do. It's like you have to teach them how to be with you and teach them how to interact with others and be open minded. It is like you have to teach them. Whereas with a narcissist, they already know better. They know what they are doing. It's intentional. They're trying to hurt you. So that's all I want to really speak on that. If y'all have any questions, I want to, continue to talk about, autism or anything dealing with people who you had to deal with or something like that. Because again, I'm not an expert. I cannot diagnose someone with that. I'm only speaking on a personal level with them, and that's why I want to share that, just to kind of, just to touch base on how it's compared to narcissism, because I really don't believe that that is who they are trying to be. A narcissist, just like any other person, have a choice who they want to be. You don't want to be that type of person. you know you have the power to change who you are. And again, you can bring that to the attention of a narc, they're going to deny it. They're going to get angry. They may punish you, give you the silent treatment. With autistic people, they're not trying to give you the silent treatment when they just get silent. That's their way of dealing with, just a heavy load, whatever they're going through. They can even be dealing with personal issues of their own, medical issues, financial issues. They're just like anybody else. It's just that when they cut it off, they cut it off. It's cold, it's nothing. And I can understand how a person can question it, like, why are you doing this and how can you do this to me? You know. But again, you just have to open up those lines of communication to let them know what they're doing, to bring it to their attention. And with the narc, it's not going to work. You're going to talk to you blue in the face, because you're just not going to get through to those people, So that's all I want to talk about in this video. I want to thank y'all for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.